Hi, David here at Spite, dropping another video that will hopefully be informational, educational, and maybe even inspirational. I'm wearing a shirt right now. It's our pro-life, pro-war shirt. This is one of my favorite shirts that we have, and I want to talk about that today. Now, if you haven't been following our videos, this is part 3 of 3 videos I'm releasing here just to relaunch some stuff we're doing here at Spite. The first video kind of talked about the history of Spite and where we came from and how we got this thing going. The second video talked about just why we operate as a co-op and how we're trying to cultivate this amazing community of people that are just trying to think. And this video is going to talk a little bit more about the new direction that Spite really wants to head into, moving through the end of 2022 and beginning 2023. I want to talk about this shirt specifically. I want you to imagine yourself as David in Colorado Springs, Colorado, at a Comfort Inn with his daughter, his 10-year-old daughter, just trying to get a continental breakfast. We're waiting for a waffle to cook, and there's a gentleman sitting at the table, and he says, at a table next to us, and he says, "Hell yeah, love that shirt." And you know, my daughter and I look at each other, and it's kind of weird, but I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." And he goes, "Yeah, that's cool. That's good." And so I just thought, well, that's amazing. Thank you for liking the shirt in my head. And then he noticed something, and I'll show it to you real quick. He notices this little hashtag here, hashtag American Jesus. So while I'm waiting in line for my waffle and coffee for my daughter and myself, this gentleman says, "Hold on a sec. Is that shirt about pro-life, or are you mocking my faith?" I immediately understood that he was sort of getting the sense of the shirt that might be offensive to him. And I said, "Hey, look, I'm with my daughter right now. We're just trying to get some waffles and some coffee." I said, "But let me get her to the room. I'll come back down. I'll have some coffee with you. We can talk about the shirt." And he goes, "No. You're mocking my faith. I see what you're doing. That shirt's disgusting." Now, obviously I never had coffee with the person, and it got me to thinking, though, this guy was so and this is what the shirt does. I mentioned this in the last video. How can I be pro-life but pro-war? Save babies who mommies don't want, but kill babies who mommies, if they're in another country, who cares? If they don't believe like I believe, who cares? I mean, you can agree to disagree. You can think I'm a heretic or an idiot. Many of you have messaged me and told me that I'm not a Christian for even being a part of this cooperative, and that's okay. But it got me to thinking, this man made such a bold statement and a threat in front of my 10-year-old daughter in a Comfort Inn. He didn't know me. He was just so offended by this shirt. And we realize at Spite that these shirts are going to cause dissension and some spite in other ways than we could have ever imagined. But it got me to thinking, there's people that wear shirts that really offend me. I can think of one right now where Jesus is holding a baby and the shirt says, "I'm pro-life, why aren't you?" Just personally, I think it's such a stupid shirt. There's no scripture verse that you could back that up with. But I would never walk up to somebody in a Walmart and say, "That shirt's offensive, take it off." One of Gabe, one of our worker owners, talks about a shirt he's seen that says, "Family, faith, God, guns." That is so contradictory. What are you talking about? Who's important? Your family, your faith, guns, God? How do any of those intersect? There's so many scripture verses that would speak against that kind of stuff. It doesn't matter. I think about the reactions that we get on our Facebook feed. I remember seeing a comment from somebody that said, "Jesus is going to come down and burn down your business." What are you talking about? What Jesus do you serve? Jesus was a little bit lippy and violent while he was on earth, always to those religious people that claimed to love God and yet didn't follow the love of God. What an interesting concept. Spite is going to continue. We have some great ideas coming forward. There's some new stuff coming out really soon before the end of 2022. I'm really excited of what's coming out in 2023. No, Spite is not going away. Spite is going to continue to push you to think, to have conversation. And yet we've decided it's time to take this to a new level. So if you see us on Facebook and you see an ad that you don't like or you disagree with, you are welcome to hate on it all you want. You can message me personally and tell me I'm not a good Christian, or how dare I do what I'm doing. Or you can message Gabe and Brandon and say the same thing. It doesn't matter. We're not going to engage with that anymore. We want to create a culture and cultivate, as a co-op, a place, a safe place for people to come talk. People that are atheists, agnostic, deconstructing their faith, fully deep in their faith, people who have never veered from their faith. We want to talk about this. Why would a shirt like this be so offensive? Why is a shirt with a rainbow on it that has a scripture verse so offensive? Why is a shirt that has an American evangelical icon on it mocking anything? Let's have a conversation. Moving forward, Spite is going to start creating venues and areas where we can have genuine conversation. If you want to hate on Facebook or Instagram and try to start a fight, we will just not be available. It's not good for us mentally, and it's just not what we're trying to do. But if you exist, if you are a part of this community, if you are somebody who is disenfranchised with your faith, if you're disenfranchised with American politics or American evangelicalism, or if you're just ready for a conversation, we want to start inviting you. We have some new things coming out, and we want you to stay tuned to our website, to our social media, here on YouTube, and just be ready to have some conversation. We are so excited to move forward into 2023. So I hope you stick around for the journey. I want to always remind you to have a spite-filled day, and remember, think at all costs.